Yeah, so that's called snow. But this is the front of the Zuni Bandera lava flow, corresponding to its own lava field. This is as far as the lava made it. Less than 1,500, I think, years ago. I could be wrong. I have to fact check that. This is the end of the lava. So why did the lava stop here? Well, as it turns out, there are cliffs of Cretaceous sandstone belonging to the Dakota group. Just some nice scenery, some interesting situations. Quaternary lava flows. Cretaceous sandstones. Big ugly pickup truck. People listening to music. Nice and quiet. Otherwise. Once more. Malpais National Monument or Conservation or something area. Malpais, New Mexico. Here's somewhat of a closer look at the Dakota Sandstone. Some people singing some kind of thing. The devil's all phony and he's full of baloney. I like it. Alright, Dakota Group Sandstones. Rising sea level. This is basically the bottom of the unit. You can look that up. I don't know much more than that. You could see some neato paleo channel, paleo current cross bedding. Some little gravelly there. This is probably a fluctuating sea level deposit. This is the beginning of the interior seaway of the Cretaceous. So during the Cretaceous there was an inland ocean. Most of the continent was underwater. And this is where it started. In succession, in time, and however you want to look at it. This is where it all began. And I'm cold. People behind me they're singing something. want to get in on that. The devil's all phony. It's full of baloney. Whoa, I'm gonna fall. Definitely lenses of some kind of gravel. It's very cool. It's rounded. Let's say it's pretty mature. We'll go up here. And check out that guy. Lots of neat sedimentary structures here. Cross bedding, gravel lenses. Can imagine that maybe this was submerged, the water receded, some more stuff dumped in through river channel, stream channels, perhaps. I don't know. Someone out there could probably set me straight. I don't know everything, but I know the devil is phony and he's full of baloney. Good stuff. Alright, I gotta go. And there is Laventana. Natural arch. It's the result of many, many thousands of years of frost wedging, occurring faster at the bottom than at the top. And what else do I know? This block right here, that's the Jurassic Zuni sandstone, a sand dune complex similar to what is going on in the Sahara Desert right now. It is pretty massive, it's pretty structureless, it is pretty thick, and then right on top of it, over here, is more of that Cretaceous Dakota group sandstone. If you were to look closer at it, you see a lot more cross bedding, a lot of the same features we saw on the last video. Just overall gorgeous scenery. There's a short hike that takes you to the base of it, but I still have 2 hours to drive today, so nope. I've also photographed this 100 times and don't feel like setting it up right now. Just a quick stop on my way to Santa Fe. Laventana Natural Arch, Malpais National whatever, New Mexico. Oh, by the way, where the Zuni meets the Dakota, there's about a 1,000,000-year erosional difference between the two. So a 1,000,000-year unconformity between the Jurassic and the Cretaceous. Yes. This portion is the Sandstone Bluffs within Malpais, and yeah, nope. Now right there, I think might be the contact between the Dakota and the Zuni. that I mentioned moments ago, but it's not that important when you get views like this. What you're looking at, is it? It's a big stratovolcano out there. And down below you have the lava field, Zuni Bandera. And out in the distance it looks like we've got some mammatus clouds churning. Certainly out there we do. Those are my favorite kind of clouds for some reason. And it's a good thing I have image stabilization because I am cold. I am shivering. Of course, I'm not really dressed for this occasion. Nice little pre-sunset golden hour coming up. But I don't have time. I'm leaving in just a moment. That's the view out there. It's gorgeous. Those contrasts, excellent. This is what I love here about the sandstone I'm walking on. These elongate potholes, very artsy looking. And then over here, oh yeah, ice. I'm walking around in a t-shirt around the ice. And that's why these potholes are there, isn't it? The ice is expanding, contracting, melting, refreezing several times a day, several times a season. In the winter, widening these potholes out. And then my favorite, mud cracks. I am a lover of mud cracks in all their polygonal glory. Polygonal or poly? Is it polygonal? Or does that mean multiple wives? No, that's polygamy. This is polygonal. Polygonal. Give you one more look over the edge, but I'm not going there. That's the shot. Boom. You know, I might be wrong. That might not be the unconformity. It's definitely between here and there. Million-year difference. Not that big compared to what I've seen. That's what she said. Alright, I gotta go, I'm cold. Okay, so here is the El Malpais area. Got Grants, New Mexico up here. You've got that natural arch over here. And I first noticed this area while flying to Albuquerque from Phoenix. And what struck out to me, what grabbed my attention out the window, and mind you, I hate flying. I'm terrified of flying. I don't ever want to get in an airplane again. This was the most bumpy flight I've ever experienced. But I still managed to look out the window and check this feature out. Let's take a look. So you've got these. It's really, I didn't see any andesite, but it's basalt, quaternary basalt. You know, I'm sure there's andesite there, whatever. And you've got these normal faults that chop up the area. So you've got this sort of basin, structural basin here. But what stands out to me is how this lava periodically breached the topographic high of the upthrown side of this normal fault. And just creates some interesting flow boundaries as you look through this valley. This whole area is just basalt. There's older basalts here. It's quaternary, but it's probably a few thousand years older. It's just a very inundated place full of lava. Okay. This feature is pretty cool. So basically what it looks like is happening here. We've got these vents. The actual volcanoes are up here. And everything sort of flowed into this basin, spread out, and went up against these cliffs. There's your Zuni sandstone. There's your Dakota Sandstone, Jurassic, Cretaceous, and it's actually a 60 million year difference between those two, so I was definitely mistaken earlier in the video. And you've got the natural arch here. That's what it looks like from up above, I guess. And the Sandstone Bluffs. So I'm going to work through some images that I took on the Sandstone Bluffs about 6 months earlier than the time I recorded this particular video. So this was August of 20, or maybe early September, and I was just there in January recording the footage that we just watched. Okay. Alright, so you take 100 pictures, you keep 3 pictures, if you're lucky. So I want to go through some of my keepers just really quick. I guess starting with this one. I'm using a 16mm lens here, 16 to 35, shooting in 16 millimeters at f4, and I was very pleased to capture without doing any kind of special trick the focus stacking. So down here you have your lava field. Up here you have your Zuni Jurassic Age sandstones, and those artsy looking potholes that are likely the result of continual freeze and thaw cycles of pooled water. As you can see, there's plenty of places for water to infiltrate and expand and contract. So I like this one. You've got the edge of the clouds are highlighted by the setting sun. You've got your lens flares. You've got your tones to the clouds. So I'll run through it real quick. I actually dropped exposure to 0.2. I gave it a good healthy dose of contrast, because when you look at it, it's just flat. So I kicked that up. I think I was at 38. I dropped my highlights a bit so I can avoid washing out the detail in the clouds. I raised the darks and the shadows, and dropped the whites a little bit. I gave it some texture, but not a whole hell of a lot. Here I'm more concerned with the clarity. How clear is this image? And I'm very pleased with it at level 24. Gave it a good dehaze. When you look at it without dehaze, it just kind of looks so what-ish. So we went up to 41. We started to get more of the details up here. I only needed a little bit of vibrance, and I actually turned down saturation, and I still have these gorgeous sunset colors, and my curves are as such. You can pause it and look at that if you want. Here I dropped blue a little bit, I dropped aqua, and I left everything else alone. I mean, nature did the work for me on this one. It did not require a significant amount of tuning to get this. I gave my lens correction, try and get rid of that 16mm bulge. And that's really all I did, and more or less I took these settings and I pasted them around. Once again, these potholes are my favorite feature, these elongate, weathered crevices. And of course, the mud. Very pleased with it. There's that bigger pothole by the edge of the cliff here. Now these were shot in August. It was obviously much nicer outside. Now let's see if I can get a good shot of the cliff itself. And I'm not sure if this is the actual unconformity. One of the descriptors it has is that white stripe going through it, but to be honest with you, there's slightly more structure here. There's some layering. Maybe it's a little more jointed up here. But as it turns out, I'm kind of leaning towards that all of this belongs to that Zuni group. So, once again, big portion of these is dropping the highlights down. You can see why. You want to bring out those clouds. You want to drop the whites, but not too much. I mean, clouds are white, so if you try to drop them too much, it just doesn't look natural. And it becomes a game of experimenting with the blue. Obviously, if you remove too much blue, it doesn't look like planet Earth anymore. But somewhere around there works just fine for me. And we've got that golden hour glow hitting these cliffs. I just think I'm pleased with some of these images. There will be posted soon to my Instagram, The Rocktographer. It was obviously much lighter when I got there, but it's the magic of golden hour that brings out these cliffs. Get some lens flare going on. Good stuff. Alright, and that'll do for my tour of El Malpais National Conservation Monument, whatever you want to call it. Alright, thank you.